that knew me. Like, I was so speechless. And I just asked her, like, you know me, you've heard about me. She was like, yeah, she's seen my books. And I was like, wow. And she kept telling me that there are a lot of people in France who want a French version, like a French translation of the book. And I have been getting a lot of comments on some of my viral videos on TikTok of people saying, please, can you translate it to French? Please, can you translate it to French? So actually, that's something that maybe I'll be able to do in the future, if, you know, by God's grace. Not even maybe, I'm praying today, I'm holding on to this word that God will blow my mind, and someday I will be able to translate my books into French. Because hello everyone, and welcome to Love Qualified TV. It's a ministry that is dedicated to encouraging others to experience the sovereign love of the one true God who has qualified us to be his beloved ones. I am a Christian romance author, an author coach, and an entrepreneur, and today I'm going to be telling you guys all about how I was able to translate my debut novel into French. So if you are excited or interested in that, then keep watching. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory, which was going to explain the clip that I put at the beginning. 3 years ago in 2023, I attended a Christian women's event, and I was able to meet readers at that event. Through networking, I started speaking to some ladies, and I realized that some of the ladies there had read my books, and there was this lady who had traveled from France to come and attend this event, and we started talking, and she realized that she has read some of my books, and then she mentioned about the possibility of translating my books into French. And it was one of those things. I was like, yeah, it's something that I've thought about, because I come from a bilingual country. My home country is Cameroon, and the two official languages in Cameroon are French and English, and it has always been at the back of my mind that it would be nice to have French editions of my books. But it's one of those things, as an entrepreneur, I've never really thought about it making sense for my author business, because I was like, I know it costs a lot of money. So I don't know if that's something I'll be able to do in the near future. But I remember that vlog. I will leave it in the cards, and I'll leave it in the description, the link to that vlog in the description. So it was a Christian women's business event. I learned so much. So I was reflecting on what I'd learned that day when I went home, and you'd see in the vlog about everything that I'd learned. As I was talking about this, about the possibility of translating to other languages and things, I received the word from God as I was talking to camera, and I literally was able to say it out loud. It was kind of like a prophecy, that one day I would be able to translate my books into other languages, starting with French, because I saw it as a huge mountain that I couldn't climb, because I was like, just like audiobooks, right? I always tell myself it's so difficult to create an audiobook. It's so expensive, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't make sense for my author business. Yet I've had so many readers, who are asking about, whether my books are available in audio, but I've never really embraced the fact that this could be a possibility in the future. I would just block it and say no, this is not something that I want to do. It doesn't make sense for my business, which at the time it didn't make sense for my business, because my business was still small compared to where I am now, and I thank God for that growth. But that day when I was reflecting, it just gave me this boost of confidence, just to rely on God, to know that one day, I don't know how he was going to do it, it was going to happen. And guys, it has happened. Finally, my book, The One Who Knows Me, which is my debut novel, is a Christian coming-of-age romance novel, a Christian college romance. Today, the French edition is available. And I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about my journey to doing that, because it was quite seamless, and I give God all the glory. Now, back in October, I think it was October, you guys might remember that I posted a vlog where I was able to get my books into a UK bookstore called The Good News Bookshop, which is in Loughborough. I just came across their ad on Instagram, I don't know. I was just scrolling through Instagram. I came across their ad, and I saw that they're a Christian bookstore, which are very hard to find, by the way. And even if you were to find a bookstore, to find Christian fiction is just another story. But they were basically calling on Christian authors to come and stock their books in their shop. And so I was like, do you know what? I want to show my books to new readers, and this is a huge opportunity. So immediately I signed up. I went through the whole process. I documented that, so you can go watch that vlog if you want. But then by doing that, I was part of their mailing list. And basically the Good News Bookshop, they're they're very good with sort of helping authors, especially their authors who are who have their books stocked in their store, just to help their experience and to help them with different services. They partner with a publisher called Kratos Publisher, or Kratos Publisher, I think it's Kratos Publisher. And Kratos Publisher, they provide different services, including translations. So back in December 2025, I received an email because I'm signed up to their newsletter because I'm stocked in their shop. And the email was that they were offering, the Creative Publisher was doing an offer to authors for a set amount. So they were basically doing a sale for a French translation for your book. And they said that they were only giving a limited amount of authors, and they were going to translate your book into French. And I was like, is this real? Because the amount of money was significantly discounted. And I was like, of course I'm going to do it, because if I were going to find maybe someone on Fiverr, for example, to say, okay, let's translate my book into French, I'm going to, how much is it going to cost? They were literally it was going to cost an arm and a leg, literally. But the fact that it was significantly discounted, I already know them. They're a Christian bookstore, Christian publisher, and I already trust them. I already have that relationship with them. It was just an open door, and I was literally so excited. So immediately I emailed. I was like, yes, I am interested in this. I want to do it. And the emailing system, the back and forth was very, very seamless. And they emailed me back and said, okay, yes, okay, if you're interested, then here is the invoice, here's how much it's going to cost, and things like that. And I was like, yes, thank God. This is why it's always good to have cash, in your business. It's good to have cash, that in case things come up and you need to use it, emergency cash, because this is not something I planned for. I never even knew I was going to be paying for translation for my book. I thought about translating Love Scribbles and Other Things, which is my most recent release that is set in the UK. But then I thought about the fact that my most popular book is The One Who Knows Me, which is my debut Christian novel, a Christian romance novel. But I was like, it's because that's the most popular book, I think it would make sense to translate that and start with that, and then move on to the rest of the series, and then my other series starting with Love Scribbles and Other Things. So I initially said Love Scribbles and Other Things, and I told them, I was like, no, actually I changed my mind. I'd like to translate The One Who Knows Me first. I'd like to start with that first because it's my most popular book. And they said, yeah, no problem. And they said, okay, and once I paid the invoice, I asked for a contract. They draw an agreement, just to make sure that we're going to go through with the agreement. So we both signed the contract. Everything was fine. Now that was close to the end of December, like Christmas time, the holidays. So they said that they were going to start things in the new year when they come back after Christmas. So in January, they got me in touch with the translator, the person who's going to translate it into French. And when this translator reached out to me, from their name, guess what? They're actually Cameroonian. Well, I found out later they're Cameroonian, but I've been looking at their name and I was like, I know this sounds like a Cameroonian name. By the way, guys, I'm Cameroonian. I grew up in Cameroon. 3/4 Cameroonian, a quarter Nigerian, but I grew up in Cameroon. I was like, this person's Cameroonian. I was like, I just know it. And she was so lovely when she emailed me. She was like, I'm going to be a translator. If you have any questions, let me know. So I had direct access to her. I could message her and things like that, which was great. So they had told me that it was going to take 3 months to do the translation, because obviously and then they actually didn't meet the deadline, because by the end of March, so it took them 3 months exactly. They started in January. I sent the manuscript over, the PDF version. They did the translation, and then they emailed it back to me. They asked me if they wanted me to format, if I wanted them to format it, and I said no, I have my formatting software, so I just want the plain manuscript. I'm going to do the formatting myself. So they sent it back to me, and that was it basically. And I had to go through the formatting was a little bit messed up, if I'm not gonna lie, because it was a PDF and there were some formatting elements. I think the translator used Word, but I use Google Docs. I don't use Word, so it was a bit messed up. So I had to put it into vellum, and I had to proofread it again because there was some weird formatting stuff in there because of the different softwares that had been used. So I had to proofread chapter by chapter. The good thing is, like I said, I come from a French speaking country, so the two official languages in my country are French and English. So I do understand French. So when I read it, I would understand it, right? Even though I'm not fluent in it, which is sad. I lost my French when I moved to the UK, but I had to basically go through the whole manuscript in French, and I had the English version with me, like my French, like the book. It had a physical copy, and I'll go through it chapter by chapter, and I'll read and I'll make sure that it made sense. And I was able to pick up those areas that had the weird formatting, and I was able to adjust it, and I was adjusting mainly the formatting issue. The translation was fine, it was just the weird formatting, but that's all that I needed to do. And I just had to make sure that the front and back matter was okay. I had to insert some links and stuff like that, which was all fine. And then once that was all done, I was able to just download the file, and then I uploaded it into all the platforms, Amazon, Kindle Direct Publishing, Draft Digital, which is going to distribute it to places like Apple, Kobo, and stuff like that. I am looking, because I've been researching about different places that I can, different ways in which I can market the French edition. And this is just the beginning, right? It's out there. I know that even though I might not reach the French readers like right now, I plan to work on this side of my business where I would really I'm doing a lot of research and trying to hone in on some marketing techniques where I can reach French readers. I know that Kobo? I know Apple Books, Kobo, and Google Play is another place where you can reach French readers, and I'm not part of Google Play, so I'm hoping that in the future I'll be able to upload my books to Google Play, the French speaking books, to the French books to Google Play, the French editions. So yeah, that was the whole process. It's quite quick actually. So I have actually signed another contract to do the translation for my upcoming release, which is Whispers of Promise and Glory. You know that this book is going to be set in Cameroon. So I obviously, like I said, Cameroon has Francophone readers, so I do want there to be a French edition. So I'm excited about that as well. Hopefully that will be available before the public release of Whispers of Promise and Glory in October 10th, which is Mental Health Awareness Day. But yes, I'm so excited to work with them. So check out Good News Bookshop. I think you can check out their website. They are on Instagram, they're on Facebook, and Creators Publisher as well. They have different services that they offer. So if you're an author and you're looking for services, you can check out their website and see the different services that they offer. Sign up for their newsletter, because then you would be available, because it's not just French as well. They have lots of partners for other languages. The other language that I would like to translate my books to is German, okay, because the German readers are the highest number in Europe, apparently. Like when I look at my stats on Amazon in terms of number of people that buy my books, you have the US, which is big, and then you have the UK, and then you have Germany. Like it's even higher than France in terms of the number of readers from that country that buy my books. So German is the next one that I'm going to explore. But I just thank God that He has launched me into this journey of translations, because it's just a whole new avenue. I'm going to reach a lot more readers, and I'm going to just be doing a lot of work to market my books to this new audience, and it's just a different way to scale my author business. This is an answered prayer, guys. Like I would have never ever thought that this door would open for me. It's just to say that when God promises a thing, He will always make a way. I didn't know how He was going to do it, but He made a way for me. And the next thing will be audiobooks. I will soon be announcing on my channel that I'll be doing audiobooks for all my books. So keep an eye out for that, because I know that God is going to make a way. I'm no longer going to be shutting out possibilities. I'm embracing possibilities with God, because He is more than able to do all that we can ever ask or think, and we just have to continue trusting Him with our everyday life, with our businesses, and He will glorify Himself. So yeah, I just thought to share my testimony. But if you are a French reader, any French readers who are into Christian romance, particularly Christian college romance, then you can point them to my book, Seluki Makone, which is out now. I will leave the link to purchase down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions about translating, about writing, about authoring, and everything. And oh, don't forget, my book, Whispers of Promise and Glory, will be launching on Kickstarter on the 1st of July with special editions, paperbacks, ebooks, and hardcovers. And you can now follow the pre-launch page. I'm trying to get to 50 followers on the pre-launch page. We're at 45 as of recording this video, so please do me a favor and go and follow the pre-launch page so that the the campaign will be boosted on the Kickstarter website. I will also leave the link down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember that the sovereign love of the one true God has qualified you to be his beloved one. Take care and God bless you. Mwah. Bye.